On Thursday, October 1st, Stockton University commemorated LGBTQ+ History Month with our annual flag-raising ceremony. We used the Philadelphia flag this year, which adds black and brown stripes to the top of the standard rainbow flag. This flag was adopted by the City of Brotherly Love in 2017 to draw attention to the intersecting issues that people of color face within the LGBTQ community. This year is extra noteworthy since June 2020 marked the 50th anniversary of the annual LGBTQ+ Pride traditions due to the New York City Stonewall riots that took place in 1969. Our short video is a time capsule of sorts where you will be taken back to the flag raising on October 1st and also hear from our students, faculty, and staff who answered the question, what does LGBTQ+ History Month mean to you?
Today we're holding a flag raising ceremony to mark the start of the LGBTQ+ History Month and to remind Stockton students and staff and faculty to celebrate the rich history of this community. We'll be taking this moment to honor the important and influential historical events all the way back to ancient times, the Stonewall riots, to changes to laws and policies, all the way up to modern day. Especially since this month's theme is pride and poetry, we also take a moment to reflect on the growth of terms, language, and literature, which has helped improve the understanding of those in the greater community as well as those within about how amazing and beautiful this community is.
Today we are here to raise a flag, not just any flag, a flag of perseverance, strength, acceptance, and social justice. This flag represents a massive community that will not back down in the face of inequality that has happened and still happens to this day.
I'm reminded of all the loved ones, the allies, the people in the community that supported me, that told me I mattered. I think about the Bayard Rustins, the Harvey Milks, the Langston Hughes, and I look at their work and I look at their contributions to society. I look at all of you here and I'm reminded that there is a purpose for who we are and why we exist. I'm reminded to stay committed to making the lives of our students and our families and our communities so much better. So as we raise this flag today, I want to remind you all that there are people who are looking at you, people who are trusting you and confiding in you, and they're thanking you for creating those spaces. I'm also reminded of those who still don't feel comfortable being transparent in their identities because of the world we live in today.
I would also like to remind our LGBTQ+ members that you are loved, cherished, and valid. Also, allies, please continue to lend your voice to those who might not be heard and to promote equality and love during this month and to carry it into the future. Pride for our LGBTQ+ members and their history should not end on October 31st.
Celebrating LGBTQIA+ History Month means celebrating struggle and strength. It means perseverance. It means that many of us have had to struggle for the rights that some of us take for granted. It means community and diversity. It means living and loving out loud. It means freedom. And I'm happy to join the chorus of voices celebrating you.
LGBT history matters to me because a lot of people forget the hate that the LGBT community faces, especially in places like this, and forgetting that LGBT people were also victims during the Holocaust.
As a queer and trans person, LGBTQ+ History Month has been important to me for a long time, largely because I remember feeling really isolated when I was younger and how big a deal it was for me to understand that I was part of a community with its own history, and also that as a member of that community, I could not only learn from and rely on the wisdom and actions of those who had come before, but be part of continuing to do that work, right? One of the things that I love about LGBTQ+ History Month is that it changes over time, right? And so as members of a community with a history, like the wonderful Jewish queer and trans people behind me, Kate Bornstein and Harvey Milk, and Leslie Ann Newman, our third poster, which apparently fell on the floor. We do still care about her, right? Like these folks, that we can be a part of working to build a future that is equitable and just for people of all genders and sexualities.
To me, it's about reflecting on where our history comes from, like the trans women of color who fought for our rights at the Stonewall riots, And we should pay homage to them because we wouldn't be where we are without them and their sacrifices. And it's also a time to look towards the future and be excited for what the future has in store for our community and how we can only go up from here.
LGBTQ History Month is an important time for all of us, especially me. As a member of that community, I can tell you it's very important to me to be able to look back on our history and see where we've come from. And that's what it is. This month allows us to know that we do have a history, that we do have a past, and that we have a future. But it's important to also realize that that future is not certain. It takes all of us working together to ensure that every one of us has the rights that we deserve, the rights of any other person, which is why this month is so important, to show people who we are and what we're about.
When I think of LGBTQ+ History Month, I think of love, acceptance, I think of hope, progress, diversity, inclusion, I think of joy. And I'm so grateful to work at an institution that values, respects, celebrates, and honors the LGBTQ+ community. It was a beautiful ceremony to watch the flag being raised. And I was even more proud to see that the black and brown stripes were included, where it represents the activism that took place to address racism in the LGBTQ+ community. I look forward to a time where the LGBTQ+ community members are equally respected in all aspects of our lives, including our home, our work, school, and in the church.
LGBTQIA+ month means a number of things to me. It means a lot more equity in the world, where people will be inclusive and treat each other in a great way. Secondly, there's a lot less hate going on because of a lot of understanding, so we have safe spaces. And of course, third, great contributions from individuals that makes this a better world to live in. Happy LGBTQIA+ month.